Alright, so this tutorial is for the finger guide. And as we look this thing over, we do have some chamfers in there I'd like to show you. And we do have, it looks like I can draw the majority of it from the top view. These angles would be drawn in top view. And then the chamfer we'll have to work with after I want to build this up flat, and then I'll put the chamfer in last. So we're going to work from the top view on this. I'll go top plane, new sketch. I already have my 1060 alloy and my inches put in there. I'm going to go ahead and just draw the shape, how I see it. Right, just try to get it. That will eventually be a curve. Alright, we could probably just stop it right there. Then I'm going to start smart dimensioning. Looks like the overall, that's a 4.12. Okay, then the overall width looks like a 2.3. I'd like to put those perimeter dimensions in first. And then it looks like this guy is a 0.46. What's nice is if you print these things off, you can just start crossing off the dimensions and only use the dimensions they give you. Can't stress that enough. Okay, and then it looks like the distance between here and here will be 1.9. And now I'm going to come back this way. Now this is basically doing a chamfer. If I go from this point to this point, it's really doing a chamfer without doing a chamfer, if that makes sense. I could use the chamfer, but Smart Dimension will do the same thing. I will definitely do a 3-point chamfer at the end here. And we'll do the same thing here. Right, so that inside diameter, this is actually going to be a 0.78. It doesn't give me this one like it did down here. So what I'm going to do is only do what they give me. So this one here is 0.78. And we need to put a relation. I want to put this point and this point right on top of one another. So if I click, I'm going to get out of Smart Dimension, so it's escape, escape. Then I'm going to click that, hold down Control. I'm going to make those vertical on top of one another. So that'll place that point on top of there. Okay. Now, here's a new command. Underneath, we could do a circle here. We got to put a round in there. See if I have it on the other page. We got to put a round in here. I'm going to show you a 3-point. You can do a circle. And if you think about it, the diameter of the circle will be the same as this gap, so it would be 0.78 for diameter. But what I can also do, because it makes more sense, is I'm going to do a 3-point arc. Right, so when I click down there, it's going to say, oops, look down at the bottom there. It says Sketches, a 3-point arc. Select Start and End Points. Then drag the arc to the radius. So Start, then End Point. And then I can drag this. Now for now, I'm just going to place it, and then I'm going to dimension it here in a second. Right, so that definitely does not look correct. But what I'm going to do, when I Smart Dimension this, I know the diameter, right, is 0.78, but I need to put the radius in there. So if I just put a /2, it's 0.78 divided by 2, and then there is our radius that we need in there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I could just make this a construction line by clicking on it. Then that kind of takes it out of the contour world. But I haven't defined this piece here yet. That is 1.12. Oops, it tried to snap to something. From here to here is 1.12. Okay. Then on this left side over here, that was a 3-point arc. You could do a circle. This is the diameter. These two could be conflicting because it's already telling you that, but since this is an arc, it needs to know this value. That's why it's not over-defined. Okay, so then I need to build this rectangular area. So what I'm going to do is get back into my sketch. I'm just going to throw an offset in there, right? Offset 0.94, because I want to put a line 0.94 on this side. And see how it took all of this? Well, that's because I have chain selected. I'm going to turn off the chain. Well, now it's on the wrong side, so I'm going to reverse it. And that's an easy way of doing that, and that actually will define it. So I did it already smart dimension that. So it saved me a step, kinda. You can do it that way if you want. And then we have little cutouts in here and here. Right? Let's put it in the shape. I'm going to define it. It looks like it's a 0.26 this way. 0.26. Right, and when I made those, it actually made them collinear. Then it's going to be 0.4 from here to here. I'm probably going to do that on both edges. Right, there's the 0.4. I'm going to do it up here as well. Right, initially these things, these two lines are collinear. They run on the same exact. If you extend that line, it goes right into that. Okay, it's all black right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and extrude this surface, and then this surface, and then I'm going to chamfer. Okay, so features. It's telling me that it's 0.76 here and here. So I'm just going to put in 0.76. And again, you can just keep crossing that stuff off as you go. And then the overall height on the back, so here's your 0.76 over here. The overall on the back's 1.5. Then we'll get to this chamfer here in a second. So I'm just going to collect this sketch here. I'm going to make an extrude boss. I'm going to click in contours this surface down here. Now that needs to go 1.5. Right, so that's our shape, except we haven't done the chamfers. Now the chamfer we're going to do in 3D mode. So I'm in Features, and here's your fillet, here's your chamfer, okay, and down here it's asking for distance, over here it's asking for angle, okay. I'm going to show you something. So I put in 30, and then the chamfer is 0.44 from the point. Right? Tell me if you think this looks right. Right? It's not cutting into that. And that actually cuts all the way up into there. So that doesn't look right. What if I flip it? Does that look right? It's cutting into that corner a little bit. But this cuts into it quite a bit more. So here's what's going on. Okay? They gave us this 30, which is this angle in this corner. And what we really need is the angle down here. Okay, this is where some geometry comes into play. So we have a right triangle, that's 90. This is 30. And the sum of all the internal angles equal 180. So that would be 90 plus 30 be 120. Okay, 180 minus 127, make this a 60. So what you have to do is the complementary angle, instead of 30, this needs to be a 60, right? And then that doesn't look right. So then I flip it again. Okay, now that looks right. Okay, should be able to do both. Chamfers, right? See how that line kind of breaks this up, kind of like what you see here. So they gave me the 30, which is this angle. I needed the 60, which is down here. Right? So when I click, and I have full preview on. If you don't see these yellow lines, it's because there's maybe no preview on, and it helps to save RAM. But I like the full preview. It helps me know which way to flip it. So I went 60 instead of the 30. And I chop those corners out. I go back to my drawing. I kind of overlook. Did I see? Did I miss anything? Is it all good? Make it isometric. And then I look at my, okay, 1060 alloy, inches, everything kind of looks good. Let's go evaluate. Let's go mass properties. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Okay. And then don't forget to save it as a SOLIDWORKS file. I haven't saved that at all. Don't be afraid to save these things in the middle of work, just in case, if you've ever had a computer crash on you, it is no fun. Okay? So it's nice to save occasionally. Right? So I don't want to save that as a PDF. It's going to save it as a part file. And if I want to save it for my desktop, I just go back up here, save as, or excuse me, for my website. I'm going to go to JPEG. Right? And then in my folder, this is my crowded desktop. I have my finger guide part file, and I have my finger guide image. Okay? And good luck.